Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Now, one of the ways the Nigerian Stock Exchange expands the knowledge of the market is via essay competitions for colleges. But then again, it does a lot more. It also gets involved in some corporate social responsibility programs. Let's chat to some of these with Bola Adeko, who is the head corporate services at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Good morning to you, Bola. Thank you so much for coming in. The last time you were here, we talked a little bit about some of the CSRs that the exchange has embarked on. But what has been achieved?
Thank you very much for having me this morning. Excuse me. I think it's important to just take a quick step back to give some context. As you rightfully pointed out, I was here back in May to promote the Corporate Challenge Race. For the Nigerian Stock Exchange, we actually believe that CSR is a critical component of our strategy. And so we formed CSR Foundation about three years ago, basically to look for ways to affect the community in a positive way. Specifically, we've got 4 pillars that we've identified as far as areas of focus. The first one is community, the second one is workplace, and the third one being marketplace, and the last one being environment. And the idea behind each one of them is to look for interventions that can attempt to at least address environmental, social, and governance issues. Bringing it back to the question you had asked about the essay competition, it's actually the longest standing CSR platform that we have because that started back in 2000. It's about 15 years now. And the thinking behind that is under the community interventions to find ways to improve financial inclusion rates. And obviously, before you can have financial inclusion, you need to have financial literacy. And so over the years, targeting a particular group, so in this case, secondary school students, we have this annual event that actually tries to elicit from them interest in the market. And when I talk about market, I'm talking about the capital market, but generally also the economy at large. And so if you look at some of the topics that we've had over the years, it tries to make sure that it's some critical reasoning that's applied by them. Certainly they have to do research as well in terms of addressing the different topics that we put in front of them.
So you've had that going for 15 years now. What's been the turnout like? Has it been impressive? And has there been a better appreciation of what the market is really all about?
We believe the case is yes, but obviously it's an evolving thing. So I think last year in 2014, we had close to 2,000 entries, and year in, year out, it's actually been improving. Some other anecdotes to share with you in terms of impact. 2 years ago, we had a gentleman from Azare Bauchi Government College that won, who happened to be a wheelchair-bound gentleman. He's in Tafawa Balewa University today. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I think even though many people didn't understand how he even got as far as it did, it gave hope to millions of other people that are disabled. 2 years ago, the lady that won from IBO State had actually won twice. And one of the things that we actually provide as far as the prizes is an offer to work for one of our partners, Access Bank. We've employed one person at the exchange as well that actually won the event twice. So aside from the financial knowledge that people are gaining from doing this, the idea is that as you build these young people to be more in tune with how to manage their money properly, and in this case to use the stock exchange as an opportunity to grow their wealth over time, that they may also even have interest in the space as far as employment is concerned.
So talking about the interest, what's the level been like? What are the numbers that usually turn in essays? Because we've always had challenges with that particular sector, education. Everybody always talks about the fact that you've got it wrong from the from the build, from the foundation, and so at the end of the day, when you come out to the university, you're turning out half-baked. Students who are not ready to enter the market. And so, programs like that, writing essays, how many actually turn up to write these essays?
Yeah, so in the last couple of years, I think we've averaged between 1,500 to last year been about 1,700. So there's been an increase in terms of participation. And at the end of the day, I mean, we look to select 10 people across the country that would be the national winners. And then certainly the top 3 will get the major prizes. So it's important to also know that this is just one intervention out of many, because the problem is so big enough that one essay competition in a year would not fix it. So we do reach out to the same constituent in different ways. We've got 13 locations across the country, branches across the country, that one of the things that we utilize those branches to do is to do outreach programs, to go to secondary school students, primary school students, sometimes universities, to kind of preach the same message of, okay, here's what you need to know about the capital market, and basically trying to invest for the future. Early this year, when the Global Money Week event took place, we also participated. We had a number of students that came to the exchange, gave a little seminar, took them around the floor to introduce them to what we do. So there are many ways that we have tried to address it, but this has been the signature one, especially given that this is 15 years in a row. We believe that certainly would be one that will continue going forward.
So you're targeting primary, secondary, and universities. Correct. But why not the community at large? Because investor education is really very important, and you rightly pointed out financial inclusion is a very key one as well.
Yeah, so thanks for bringing that up. So for every single target audience that you could think of there, we have a specific tailor-made fora for them. We have an investor clinic that we do once every quarter. And over the years, what we've done is actually identify certain specific constituents. So we've done some for professional bodies. So bodies like ICANN, MBA, this is the Law Association, to bring them into the fold. Again, obviously, we can't reach the entire millions of them, but at least as a representative sample of them, we brought them in. We've targeted Shareholders Association, again, sending the same message. We've targeted religious bodies, because I mean, it stands to be a fact that that's still a very large constituent when you talk about how religious a country you are. So we brought people from the different churches and the mosque to the exchange, obviously with a very generic message about how, you know, when you earn money, whether you're running a business or you work for a company, that you need to find a way to, over a long period of time, because the capital market certainly has been proven to be the best platform to do that, to put money aside and invest for the future.
Yeah, because, you know, there's been a lot of complaint from some people who feel that the Nigerian capital market is shrouded in some kind of secrecy. So you have to be part of a particular gang, you know, to understand what it actually, you know, what actually goes on there, what the different departments, what the different units do to ensure that, you know, there's no infractions, for instance, in terms of regulations and trade and the rest of it.
I mean, it's that's not the case, I guess would be the short answer to that. We pride ourselves in promoting transparency, and that's been proven over the years. And again, not to our own horn necessarily, we recently got an award for corporate social responsibility. Again, one of the tenets been the efforts that we've put in place in terms of trying to improve ethics and corporate governance in the system. To the question about whether it's clouded in secrecy, I think we have to put the historical context to it. When you're coming from a space where there wasn't a lot of information that used to come out of an institution to now where you're having one, it's a journey. And so I think over time we've improved that. Our website, certainly for anyone that hasn't been there, I would encourage them to go. It's nsc.com.ng. Has a plethora of information for every single target audience that you could think of. So whether you're an investor, you're an issuer, or just someone that's just interested in the market, we do put out a lot of information out there. But I also have to underscore a point, which is we're not doing this in isolation, because this is bigger than one institution. And so part of the other ways that we've tried to advance the course is there's a broad financial service initiative, financial literacy steering committee that's headed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, that the NSE has been an active participant of that. At that level, you talk about, you know, policies and actual tactical interventions that you can have in place to try and, again, advance the same issue of how do you get the financial inclusion rate, which is right now very low, to someone that's higher. So
just before I let you go, Bola, talk to us about CSR under demutualization.
Okay. Before I do that, because I know you're going to probably rush me and not have enough time to cover this, I do have to get a message across to the students about this particular event. So the entries started October 18th, and the deadline is October 30th, which is fast approaching. There will be an event on November 24th, which is when we'll be announcing the winner. And there are very, very attractive prizes to be won by it. And just by way of example, the first prize is 500,000 Naira scholarship that the person gets. They also get a chance to come to the exchange and close the market on the appointed day. and get a 250,000 naira to also invest in the market as well as a laptop. So I want to make that quick plug so that people understand it's not just for nothing. To your question about how does this fit in with the planned demutualization,
exactly.
It fits in perfectly. I started by saying that this is a critical component of a strategy at the exchange. So it's not a hobby, it's a one-off thing that we've decided to do here. The framework that I described earlier on is actually approved by the council. And I think if you fast forward 2 years from now, our goal at the exchange is to actually build out our sustainability CSR platform to a form where it actually has a foundation of its own. So maybe the leading entities in this space in Nigeria today will be the Dangote Foundation, MTN Foundation as our reference point. But so we're starting small, but as we go into demutualization, we don't expect that there will be any letdown or slowdown in terms of this momentum.
Well, thank you so much, Bola, for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Bola Adeko is the head corporate service at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, talking to us about the NSE and its CSR drive. Now, a former World Bank managing director and Nigeria's two-time finance minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has challenged policymakers on the continent to improve their strategies in the face of global economic and market volatility. Now, the finance chief speaks with Channels Television business producer Tempo Ashaju at the just concluded IMF World Bank meeting held in Peru's capital, Lima.